What is going on, everyone? I hope you're having a great day so far. I hope your day isn't like your area isn't as hot as it is in this fucking place. If you hear my AC unit, I apologize. I had to keep it on while I'm filming because otherwise I will just melt on camera and I will just die. But today I am going to be doing a Blu-ray haul of June. All the titles that I picked up in the month of June. I got some really good titles in June that I am very happy about. And yeah, the collection is growing. It's getting there, so some of these titles are big name titles that most of you collectors already have. Mine's small, it's getting there, but I definitely picked up some good ones this month. First up, we have Jurassic Park. Yes, the original Jurassic Park. I love this film. It's a great adventure movie, and it's the only Jurassic Park movie, in my opinion, the only Jurassic film that is worth owning. I know I have not seen Jurassic World despite me having a $5 off the movie ticket. I have no interest in Fallen Kingdom, honestly. And I have Movie Pass, and I haven't seen it yet. Really didn't care for the first Jurassic World, and this new one looks worse, and I heard it's worse. So I just don't think I'm going to waste my time seeing it. But Jurassic Park, really fucking good. Next up, we have Captain America, the First Avenger, and Captain America, I was about to say Civil War, Winter Soldier. Captain America First Avenger, I didn't buy this. My roommate, a family member of my roommate, actually gave him a shit ton of DVDs and Blu-rays, and he let me have this because he knows I'm into collecting, so he let me have this, and it sits right next to my Winter Soldier and my Civil War. I have not seen this film in a very long time. When this came out in 2011, I probably haven't seen it since that year. I might have seen it once since then, but even then it's been years. I'm very much looking forward to rewatching this. Everybody that rewatches it, in my circles, say it's really good and it holds up a lot better than they remember. So I'm looking forward to checking this out soon. Winter Soldier, however, I watched the other night with my buddy. I love this movie so much. It is. I love Infinity War. I love Civil War. I love the first Iron Man. This, to me, is without a doubt the best MCU movie. It's not close. Infinity War is much bigger, a grand scale thing, and it's really impressive what the Russo brothers was able to do with that big a scale, with that many characters. I understand that, and I love Infinity War. Love that movie. Civil War, however, is a different beast in entirety. It's a really tightly compacted movie with a bunch of great characters, a really, really interesting look at politics and the way it affected Steve Rogers. It's still the best action in honestly, some of the best action in comic book movies, period. The highway action scene in this movie is fucking phenomenal. It's breathtaking. Up next, we have Annihilation, one of my favorites of the year so far. I actually did a Blu-ray trip picking this up at Best Buy. If you want to go check that out, that'd be really cool. I really like this movie. It's a great sci-fi. I thought Natalie Portman was a fantastic lead. It's not perfect. Every actor in this film, besides Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac, were pretty bad in my opinion. And the beginning was set up kind of sloppy. But once they go into I can't think of the name of the place right now. The Shimmer. That's what it's called. I was going to say Slither. Don't know why, but I was going to say Slither. But once they go into the Shimmer, the movie picks up, and it's great. It's a great sci-fi. It's one of those movies where you and your friends can talk months and months. It's kind of like the end of Inception. Everybody has their own hypothesis of what the actual story is and what it actually means, and no one's wrong. That's the beauty about this movie. No one's wrong. And I love movies like that, and this is a movie that is definitely like that. Definitely see it if you haven't seen it yet. Up next, we have Blade Runner 2049. This movie. Going into this movie, I was really excited because of Denis Villeneuve. I watched the original Blade Runner for the first time the day before I saw this, which really, really helped. If you haven't seen either one yet and you plan to, I highly, highly recommend watching the original Blade Runner before watching this, because you don't need to know about anything about the original Blade Runner to enjoy this movie, because it's not only for the most part, but it's pretty much its own separate thing. But there are characters and certain elements that are in the first one that are hinted at in this, and you won't catch. And it's little details. It's little details. There's a character that is in one scene in this movie that was in the original. But this movie is, on its own, is a masterpiece, in my opinion. I do not have a single... I mean, no movie is flawless. But I really, really have to look with this movie. Like, really, really look. Jared Leto's character probably comes the closest thing to negative I have about it. It's great. I love Ryan Gosling in this film. I love what they do with his character. I thought the way his character was told and the way he played it was a beautiful story. Harrison Ford was great in this for the small role he was in. I can't, like, what can I say about this great movie that hasn't already been said? Honestly, you need to see it if you haven't yet. It's a long movie. But trust me, it's worth it. Next up is another one of my favorites from 2017, Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. I love this film, man. I really do. If you have not seen this, please see it. It is a really, really good story with great characters and fan-fucking-tastic acting. Oh my god! Frances McDormand in this movie is great. Sam Rockwell in this movie, probably the best I've ever seen him. And that's saying something. Sam Rockwell is fucking amazing, but I honestly think it's hard to say definitive that he gives his best performance in this movie, but it's up there. Like, top 2 and top 3 for me, as far as his performances go. He's so good in this movie. What they do with his character is really great, and you buy it. I'm not going to spoil it what it is, because I know a lot of you haven't seen it, but the way the movie chooses to tell its story will surprise you. It certainly surprised me. I was very, very pleasantly surprised when I saw this movie. It is great. Woody Harrelson's great in it. You definitely need to see it. Up next is Goodfellas. One of Martin Scorsese's best. It's not my favorite from him, but it's definitely in my top tier of his. It's just at its best. It's very smart dialogue, very fast-paced dialogue. Not really likable characters, but fun characters, really enjoyable characters to watch. It's a long movie, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It goes by quick. It's really quotable. If you have not seen Goodfellas, I highly, highly recommend it. You think I'm funny? In what way? Like, wait, no. How am I funny to you? And how exactly am I funny? My poor cat looks terrified right now. Sorry, my cat was at my feet. He looked like he wanted to be held, but not be on camera. He's shy. Give him time. Up next, we have Mad Max Fury Road. I live, I die, I live again! This is just how you do an action movie, in my opinion. Not every action movie has to be like this, but this is what I want in an action movie. A simple story, great characters, gorgeous cinematography, a great atmosphere, and just a badass lead. In this case, you had 2 badass leads, Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. Love them both in this movie. When people say this movie has no plot, I'm just like, me personally, I don't need a complicated story in my action films. I really don't. And this movie gave me everything that I wanted in an action film. It is highly rewatchable. I love it, love it, love it. Last but not least, well, it might be least depending on who you ask nowadays, is the Star Wars films. Yes, the Star Wars movies. So let's break this down. Let's talk about the prequels first. One, I didn't see this. I didn't buy this. I would not buy the prequels. Revenge of the Sith, I really like, and I will defend Revenge of the Sith any day. As far as the other 2, they can go to hell. But How I Got Captain America, how I explained earlier, that's how I got the prequel. So I don't really want to talk about these movies other than Revenge of the Sith is highly, highly underrated and is much better than Rogue One. The original trilogy, however, is one of the best trilogies of all time. I love these fucking movies, and I know everybody says that, so it's not saying anything new, but I bought the Blu-ray, so I'm going to talk about them. I remember when I think I was 13. It was either 13 or 14. I was just getting into film, and my uncle was showing me. He showed me all of my movies. Like, he showed me Fight Club and Goodfellas and stuff like that. He sat me down and was like, you know what? It's time you watch Star Wars. And I was like, let's do it. I really liked A New Hope, but it didn't blow me away. Like, when I love it now, but originally when I watched it when I was a preteen, I remember liking it. I thought it was good, but I didn't, love it. Empire Strikes Back, however, that is one of the movies that like solidified me like really liking movies. It is by far my favorite Star Wars film. One of the best movies ever made. One of the best sequels ever made. Return of the Jedi, it's good. It's good. I don't think it's great at all. I don't think it's one of the best Star Wars films. It's enjoyable, but I definitely have issues with it. Specifically, not just, I know the Ewoks is a very common criticism of the movie. Not just the Ewoks, though. Everything about when they first get to Endor was so boring. Like, people talk about and I agree, about the Canto Bight sequence in The Last Jedi being boring. When they first get to that planet and before the plan gets in motion, the movie, nothing's fucking happening. It's so... I guess things are happening, but it's done in such a different tone from the rest of the movie, and it takes me out of the movie every time I watch that. It's a really big glaring problem, amongst other things. But the throne room scene at the end of Return of the Jedi is one of the best Star Wars moments in all of the saga. It's still a good movie, but I just don't love it nearly as much as the first two here. And the last Blu-ray that I'm going to talk about today is a movie that everyone loves. It's universally loved. There's no controversy at all surrounding it. No one ever complains about it 6 months later after its release. It is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Yes, all joking aside, I adore this film. I know. People are really... Let me get real for a second. People really over-exaggerate how many people actually hated this movie. I'm not saying that a large group of people did not like this film. That's not what I'm saying. The line was definitely divided. The fan base is definitely divided. I get that. I fall on the side that adore this movie. But the people that hate this movie, like there's not everybody. There's a group of people. Within the group of people that hate this movie, there's a section of those fans, and they like to pretend no one likes this movie. They like to pretend no one likes the sequel trilogy. They like to pretend everyone's on their side, or they're not a true Star Wars fan. And here's the bottom line. I can like this movie. You can hate this movie. That's fine. I in no way am I saying you're not a Star Wars fan for not appreciating this movie. You absolutely are. If you appreciate Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, two movies that I fucking despise those movies. I hate them. They are so boring. But if you like them, you're a Star Wars fan. If you like a Star Wars movie, if you like Star Wars, guess what? You're a true Star Wars fan. I really am. People need to stop pretending that people who like this movie aren't true Star Wars fans. And on the flip side of that too, like the Star Wars fandom has as much as I love this movie, this movie has definitely brought out the worst in the Star Wars fandom, and I think it's crossed unredeemable. Nothing's unredeemable, but it's gonna take a lot to gain that spark of the fandom again, because it is way worse than the Marvel DC stuff. Way, way, way worse. But actually talking about the movie itself, I'm not going to say too much because I'm currently working on a video of this called Why I Love The Last Jedi. I go into great detail of why I appreciate this movie, what I took out of this movie. So all I'm going to say for right now, I adore this film. I love it. I love the themes behind it. I love what they did with the characters. It's not perfect. It is not perfect. As I mentioned earlier, the Canto Bight sequence is not good. It's not a good sequence. It's not pointless. I will say that is a point I am making in my video. It's not pointless. Everybody says this, and I did too for a while. It took a couple of rewatches. It took a couple of things. It's not pointless. As boring as it is, as feels as shoehorned as it is in the movie, it's not pointless. But it is boring. It is by far the weakest part of the film. But besides that, I love everything about it. I really, really do. Unapologetically. I just made up a word. What I am trying to say is that I have no shame in saying that it is one of my favorite Star Wars films. It is actually my second favorite behind Empire. Yeah, I love it that much. I really do. And hopefully you'll watch the video and whenever I decide to upload it, because, procrastination is a thing that I do. But I will upload that video. I am very, very excited for people to check it out. And yeah, that's Star Wars: Last Jedi. Be nice to each other when you talk about this movie. Be, a positive influence, whether you like the movie or not. Just the fandom really needs to just not be as toxic as it is, and it's going to require both sides to do that. And I think it starts with people accepting that other people is going to have different opinions than you, and your opinion is not fucking fact. Despite what you think, despite what you think this movie did to your childhood, it's not fact. I'm sorry to break the news to you. It's not, and it won't ever be. So stop trying to pretend it is, and just, enjoy being a Star Wars fan. Sorry for the rant at the end there. I rambled on a little bit talking about The Last Jedi, but Star Wars means a lot to me, and it always meant a lot to me growing up, and talking about Star Wars was always the thing that I did with people, and it's not fun to talk about Star Wars anymore, and that really sucks, and I just hope it gets better soon. So that was my Blu-ray haul for the month of June. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Again, I apologize for rambling on a little bit, but sometimes I get too passionate and I just keep talking. But yeah, what did you guys pick up in June? How's your collection looking? What did you think about these movies? Comment below and let me know. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay cold, because fuck summer. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later. Take care.